Good morning, all of you. I'm Dr. Pradeep Kumar, working as Assistant Professor in St. Peter's Engineering College, Autonomous, Hyderabad. In the previous class, we have covered the topic of the classification of materials based on the band gap. In that session, we have talked about the classification of the materials, isn't it? We have the three types of the materials based on the band gap present in the uh, materials, isn't it? Yeah, first one is insulators, second one is semiconductors, and third one is conductors, isn't it? Yeah. Then we are also discussed about the intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors, isn't it? Yeah. In the today's session, we will discuss about the topic of effects of doping on conductance. In the today's session, we are going to learn about the effects of doping on conductance. How the doping can affect the conductivity of the materials. Okay, how the doping can affect the conductivity of the materials. Actually, the semiconductors are having the low conductivity, as we discussed from the previous class. Okay, the semiconductors are having the low conductivity, so that we need to increase the conductivity of such materials, isn't it? We need to increase the conductivity of such materials. Here we have one method, that is rising of the temperature. If we raise the some of the semiconductors temperature, then their conductivity also increase. Okay, if we raise the temperature of the some conductors, the conductivity increases. But some of the semiconductors, if we give the temperature, there is no any change in the conductivity. For some of the semiconductors, if we raise the temperature also, there is no any change in the conductivity. For such type of semiconductors, here we are adding some impurities. For such type of semiconductors, we are adding some impurities from externally, isn't it? Such a method is known as doping. Okay, by adding some impurities to the semiconductors to increase the conductivity of such semiconductors, that is known as doping method. We can call that impurities or dopants. Okay, dopants. Dopants are impurities, isn't it? Impurities which are going to add externally to increase the semiconductor conductivity, isn't it? Yeah. This doping based on the dopants, here the based on the dopants, here we have two types of semiconductors. Here we have two types of semiconductors. The first one is N type of semiconductor. N type of semiconductor. And second one is P type of semiconductor. P type semiconductors. Okay. Based on the dopants, here we have two types of semiconductors, N type semiconductors and P type semiconductors. Okay. What is doping? Here the adding of some impurities from externally to the semiconductors to increase their conductivity is known as doping. Based on the dopants, that means impurities, isn't it? Based on dopants, here we have two types of semiconductors, N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors. Yeah, we will learn about the in detail of the N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors. Okay. Yeah, first we will discuss about the N-type semiconductors. First one is N-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor, which is also known as electron rich, semiconductor. N-type semiconductors, which are also known as electron rich semiconductors. In this type of semiconductors, that means N-type semiconductors, here we are adding impurities which are having electron rich, impurities. Okay. If you see the germanium material, that is germanium semiconductor, this is the perfect pure semiconductor of germanium. Okay, it is perfect pure semiconductor of the germanium, isn't it? Actually, this perfect semiconductor is having low conductivity, so that's why we need to improve the conductivity of this semiconductor. For that, here we are adding the electron rich material to this semiconductor. Okay, actually this germanium is having the fourth group, isn't it? This is a fourth group material. The germanium is a fourth group material. So here germanium is having the 4 valency electrons, isn't it? The germanium is having the 4 valency electron. So that's why each germanium atom can participate in the bond formation with the adjacent germanium atom. Okay, if you see, this germanium is sharing of due to the sharing of each electron of germanium, there is a covalent bond, isn't it? Here also 2. Okay, this germanium is having the 4th valency. That means here the germanium is having the 4 valency electrons, so that's why it can form the 4 bonds, isn't it? Yeah. This is the perfect crystal of the germanium. This is the perfect crystal of the germanium. For this germanium semiconductor, here we are adding the fifth group of materials. That is arsenic material. Here we are adding the arsenic material. What happened if we add the arsenic material? That is known as, here this is the dopant, or we can say this is the impurity which are going to add externally. Okay, if we add the arsenic dopant or impurity to the germanium, perfect pure germanium semiconductor, what happens? This can goes into the lattice space of the germanium crystal. Okay, it can goes into the, it can replace the some of the germanium atoms from its lattice. It can goes and sit in the place of the germanium atom in the lattice of the crystal. Then what happens? If you see, in the place of the germanium, here we have the arsenic. Like this germanium, some of the germanium atoms can replaced by the arsenic metal, isn't it? If you see here, this is the arsenic material, this is the arsenic metal, this is arsenic, this is arsenic. Remaining are the germanium here. What happens if it replaces the germanium position in the lattice? Here the germanium is fourth group element, so that's why it can participated in the formation of the 4 bonds, so there is no any remaining electrons. But in the case of arsenic, it is a 5th group material, isn't it? 5th group metal, so it can form 4 bonds with other adjacent atoms, and it is also having one more electron, isn't it? It is a 5th group valence, so that's why it is having the 5 valency electron. So 4 are involved in the formation of the bonds with the adjacent atoms. Here the arsenic is having one more electron, isn't it? One more electron, one more electron. All the arsenic atoms are having extra one more electron here, isn't it? All the arsenic atoms are having the one more extra electron here. So what happens with that electron? If you see here, this electron can jump into the adjacent atom, adjacent orbital of the adjacent atomic atom. Okay, this electron goes to the adjacent adjacent atom. So here again they will have one more electron extra here, so it can move to adjacent carbon. So again this germanium is having the extra one more electron, isn't it? It can move to some other, so this is goes to like this. So there is a mobility of the electron due to the generating of one more extra electron in the crystal lattice of the semiconductor here, isn't it? So due to the generating of extra electron, so here this is known as electron rich material, isn't it? Arsenic is a electron rich material. So this type of semiconductors are known as n-type semiconductors or electron rich semiconductors. Okay, in this electron rich semiconductors we are going to generate an electron, extra electron, from adding impurity to the semiconductor. Okay, this is known as n-type semiconductor. Okay, yeah. And coming to the next semiconductor type, that is p-type semiconductor. Next one is p-type semiconductor. The second type is P type of semiconductor, also known as electron deficient semiconductor. The second type is P-type semiconductor, or also known as electron deficient semiconductors. In this semiconductor type, here we are adding the dopant to the semiconductor electron deficient dopants. Okay, here we are adding the electron deficient impurity to the semiconductor to increase the conductivity of the such semiconductor. Okay, for example, if you take germanium, again germanium semiconductor, in this germanium semiconductor, actually as we discussed in the earlier, this is a fourth group element, that is germanium is a fourth group element. It is having the 4 electrons, so it can form the 4 bonds with the adjacent germanium materials. So there is no any electron deficient or electron rich nature, isn't it? There is no any electron rich or electron deficient nature in the crystal lattice of the germanium semiconductors. So in the P type of semiconductor or electron deficient semiconductor, here we are adding the dopant of the third group element, isn't it? Third group element, that is boron. Here we are adding the boron material to the semiconductor of the germanium. Germanium is a, we already know, that is the fourth group element, isn't it? It is a fourth group element. To these semiconductors we are adding impurity of the third group material, that is boron. What happens if we add the electron third group material, that is electron deficient material, to the semiconductor of the fourth group material? What happens if you see these germanium, some of the germanium atoms can be replaced by the boron atom, isn't it? Boron atom. Yeah. This boron is a third group element, isn't it? This boron is a third group element. We already know. Yes. If you see here, this boron is a third group element. These boron atoms can replace some of the germanium atom positions, but it can form only 3 bonds, isn't it? It can form only 3 bonds due to the valency of 3, isn't it? Here we have one more electron deficiency. The boron is having the one more electron deficiency, that is called as hole. That is also known as hole, isn't it? If you see here, this germanium fourth group semiconductor is dopant with the third group material, that is boron. So these boron atoms can replace some of the germanium atom positions in the lattice of the germanium semiconductor. But this boron is having the valency of 3, so that why it can make the 3 bonds here. One hole is there, one hole remaining. There is a hole means here electron deficiency, isn't it? Now what happens due to this hole in the crystal lattice of the germanium semiconductor? If you see, from this germanium atom, the electron can move towards the hole, because hole is a positive nature thing here. Positive hole is a positive nature. Hole is having the positive nature and electron is having negative nature. So these bonds electrons can attracted by this positive hole. So again here there will be generating of the hole, isn't it? Here also generating of the hole. So again it can attracted the one more electron from the adjacent bond, isn't it? So this process can move throughout the crystal lattice of the semiconductor. So here the hole transfer can be possible here, isn't it? Hole transfer can be possible here. So that's why here the conductivity will be increased. In that way the conductivity will be increased here. This is known as a p-type semiconductor. This is known as p-type semiconductor. Based on the dopants, here we have two types of semiconductors. First one is n-type semiconductor and second one is p-type semiconductor. In the n-type semiconductors, we are adding the electron-rich impurities. In the p-type semiconductors, we are adding the electron-deficient dopants, isn't it? In the p-type semiconductors, there the conductivity will be increased due to the electron, due to the electron or one more extra electron. But in the case of the p-type semiconductors, the conductivity will be generated towards the hole. That means the conductivity will be increased due to the presence of the hole, due to the generating of the hole here, isn't it? In the n-type semiconductors, we are adding fifth group material to the fourth group material. In the p-type semiconductors, we are adding third group material to the fourth group material. Okay. In the n-type semiconductors, the electrons can move to the electrons. The current can move to the positive charged, isn't it? But in the case of the p-type semiconductors, the current can move to the negative charged, because hole is a positive charge, isn't it? This is the discussion about the n-type semiconductors and p-type semiconductors. Okay. Next, we will discuss about the differences between the n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductors. Now, we need to discuss the major differences between the n-type and p-type semiconductors. If you see, in the n-type semiconductors, actually we are going to add the pentavalent impurities. In the p-type, we are going to add trivalent impurities, isn't it? In the n-type, pentavalent impurities are going to add. What are they? For example, phosphorus and arsenic. Okay. And in the p-type, trivalent impurities, examples are boron or aluminium. Okay, boron or aluminium. And coming to the n-type semiconductor, here we are going to generate extra electron in the case of the n-type semiconductor. But in the case of the p-type semiconductor, we are going to generate hole. Hole is nothing but positively charged, isn't it? Electron is negatively charged. Here hole is positively charged. In the n-type semiconductor, the second point is, in the n-type semiconductors we are going to generate extra electron, isn't it? Due to the electron here, the conductivity will be increased. In the case of the p-type semiconductor, here we are going to generate hole, that is positively charged, isn't it? So here conductivity will be increased due to the presence of the hole here, isn't it? And the next point, in the case of the n-type, the electrons are the majority carriers. In the p-type, here the holes are the majority carriers. In the n-type, electrons are the majority carriers. In the holes, in the p-type, here we have the holes are the majority carriers. Carriers means those are having the generating the conductivity, isn't it? Here the electrons are in the n-type. Here electrons are the reason for the increasing the conductivity. In the p-type, holes are the reason for the increasing the conductivity. So that's why in the n-type, electrons are majority carriers. In the p-type, holes are the majority carriers. Okay. In the n-type, holes are minority carriers, and p-type, electrons are the minority carriers, isn't it? And in the n-type, here the acceptor energy level close to valency band, isn't it? In the n-type semiconductor, acceptor energy level is close to the valency band, isn't it? Yeah. Here we know about the in the n-type, the extra electron is there. Due to the moving of the electron, here the conductivity will be increased, so that here the valency band and acceptor energy level will be close, isn't it? Whenever the acceptor energy level will be closer to the valency band, then only the electron can easily move from the valency band to acceptor energy level, isn't it? So that's why in the case of the n-type semiconductors, the acceptor energy level is very close to the valency band. And in the case of the p-type semiconductor, the donor energy level is close to the conduction band. Okay. Here the donor energy level is close to the conduction band. In the case of n-type semiconductor, the Fermi energy level is lies between the acceptor band and valency band. In the case of Fermi, energy level lies between the acceptor band and valency band. And in the case of the p-type semiconductor, Fermi energy level is lies between the donor and conduction band. The Fermi energy lies between the donor and conduction band. These are the major differences which we have in between the n-type semiconductors and p-type semiconductors. The first, in the n-type, we are going to add pentavalent, and in the p-type, the impurities are trivalent. And in the n-type, extra electron will be generated, isn't it? Through that only, here we are increasing the conductivity of the semiconductor. In the case of the p-type semiconductors, holes can be generated, isn't it? In the n-type, electrons are the majority carriers. In the p-type, holes are the majority carriers. And in the n-type, holes are the minority carriers. In the p-type, electrons are the minority carriers, isn't it? And in the n-type, acceptor energy level close to valency band. In the p-type, donor energy level is close to conduction band. And in the n-type, Fermi level lies between the acceptor and valency band. And in the case of the p-type semiconductors, Fermi level lies between the donor and conduction band. These are the major differences which we are have in the n-type and p-type semiconductors. Okay.